And welcome to the commentary for Plastic Winchesters. This is Season 2, Episode 3. This is the Christmas episode, or the holiday episode, I guess I should call it. I'm really kind of proud of that opening shot right there. It snowed one day, and I thought, you gotta get outside and you gotta take a picture of that car in the snow. So there I was at 5:30 in the morning taking pictures of my little mini Impala, just so I could get the snow kind of pushed up against the edge of the bumper and we could really see that, it was in the snow. So although I have been for Season 2 been kind of photoshopping the car into different places, I kind of went back to the old way I used to do things, which was to actually take the car outside and take pictures of it on the patio outside my apartment. But the snow was too good to pass up, but I knew I was going to be doing a holiday episode and I was going to need the snow, so I'm kind of glad that I went and did that. The scene in the car that we just went through was actually Sam kind of being pissy about Christmas and how every Christmas it's just another day for the Winchesters and they have to go about and still fight evil. Evil doesn't take a holiday, as Sam points out. So Sam's kind of pissy about that, and Dean's kind of, this is the way we have to do it. And we'll talk more about that actually in a bit. Right here, you'll see that Bratz doll is wearing a pink cast on her arm. Little Wings 4 sent that in to me, and there was a whole subplot here that I completely got rid of, where she had been on the mountain, and that's how she had broken her arm. And, I mean, there was like a whole big thing. But this episode, it was already like 180 pictures long, and I just didn't have the time. And there was all, I'll talk about it a bit later, there's also, there's a couple of scenes that have no point, they're just cute. So, of all the, pointless scenes I had, that one was kind of the easiest to cut out of there. So, instead we have, a very helpful desk clerk with a broken arm that we don't explain. So, she did have a backstory, I just never got around to telling it. Let's see, and here we have Sam and Dean hunting, on the mountain. Actually, in the opening part, we talked about how John sent them a text message to this location, so they think that they are here because their father sent them here to hunt something. Well, not that I hope I'm not ruining this for anyone, but actually he didn't. He sent them here to meet up with Mr. Bumble, who we'll meet in a minute, and so that they could have a Christmas together. But they don't realize this at this point. They think they are hunting something. So it's just a weird coincidence that there is this pink walrus on this mountain that is scaring hikers. It actually, that wasn't the plan. John didn't send them up here to actually hunt that, so this is just them finding evil no matter where they go, I guess. This part right here actually got me a little choked up when I was writing it, because I'm a giant sap, which I think everybody knows. Let's see, that roar, come on, that's funny. I tried, for Season 2, I tried to get back a little bit towards how the boys act on the actual show. Kind of got away from that a little bit in, Plastic Winchester Season 1, and kind of started to do, they have their own personalities. Plastic Sam is Plastic Sam and Plastic Dean is Plastic Dean, but I wanted to kind of work back into what their actual counterpoints are supposed to be, so I try sometimes. I don't know if I was 100% successful on that, but I did try a little bit more to kind of bring back some, not a lot of the angst, but just a smidge, just to make the funny parts more funny. Let's put it that way. Let's see, coming up we have them in these sleeping bags, which I thought the one that Sam's in, the reason Sam's in the blue and pink one is because I thought I could wiggle him down in it far enough to get it over his head, so, all that would be showing was his head. It ended up being that he was too tall. I think they were actually made for Barbie dolls, and the Ken dolls are a bit bigger than the Barbie dolls, so he didn't fit quite the way I had it in my head. But still, I thought it was pretty funny that they're in sleeping bags and whatever. And as someone pointed out, is Sam sitting in the fire here? Well, technically, Dean scooted back in that last frame, and Sam scooted back, and now they're behind where the fire is. And I guess, now that I'm looking at it, I should have done a establishing shot showing that, they were still behind. Like, there you can kind of see it a little bit. That the fire is still in front of them, and Sam is not, in fact, lying in the fire. And right there was a little Hanukkah shout-out that was totally for Little Wings 4, because she asked for some Hanukkah. And I said, I can put some Hanukkah in there. We're an equal opportunity, religion, plastic land. So here we go. And here's our big introduction to the Abominable Snowman, who you might remember from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It was a claymation cartoon from like the 60s. 66623 who I'm going to call Manda from now on because I'm not going to say that her screen name every time, emailed me and said, hey, I have this crazy snowman guy. Do you want him for an episode? And literally this idea sprung pretty much fully formed in my head from her showing me the picture of him. She then made, if you notice, the earmuffs and the hat and the scarves and the mittens, she made all of those for Sam and Dean, which just... And she sent the snow in too, so it was like I had a whole holiday kit basically that she sent me in a box, and which was awesome. The trees that you see behind Sam and Dean, actually I already owned from my massive Christmas collection. If you notice the flooring here, it's blue fir, and I just thought that was the neatest thing I'd ever seen, and it kind of made his whole house just a little bit wintry and kind of lovely. That snowman you see behind Sam and Dean's head, if you look, I don't know if there's ever a shot where you can actually see it, but the snowman has a pin on that says Rock Music Plays. Beth made that for me. I'm not even going to try to say your screen name, honey. Beth made that for me, and that was the Christmas card that she sent me. And I just thought it was cute, and it was a snowman, and it kind of fit with what was going on. I thought, I'm going to slap it on the wall so I don't have to draw. Because honestly, the part that I dislike of every week is having to draw things for the wall to make art, because I am not an artist, as I think we will all agree. So when you guys send me pictures in, it makes my life a little bit easier. So here we have Sam and Dean, and they're kind of talking about helping out for the holidays. Sam's trying to get into the holiday spirit a little bit here, and which is good because, you know, he never's had a Christmas, so it's nice that, you know, we're trying to give him one here. And I guess I can put it out later, but there was a picture of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on the vanity that's behind Mr. Bumble. You can see it right there. So that's the little in-joke to the fact that, you know, Rudolph... that's where Mr. Bumble's from, is the Rudolph cartoon. Okay, now, like I was talking about before, about there are some completely unnecessary scenes in this episode, and this would be the most, or the best example of that. There's nothing in this scene that needs to be here. Mr. Bumble could have already had the tree. I mean, we didn't need to see them go out and chop it down and then get into a snowball fight. But it felt like I don't know, like we almost needed it just because... There was, I don't know, it was just a fun, stupid, light moment, and I thought that it worked pretty well. I like, Dean has a line up here that it's like, let's think about I'll read it when it comes up because I can't remember. I did this episode like 3 days ago, like, I already forgotten my lines. That's not great. I like Sam's pose right there that is laughing. It looks like his hand's almost on his face. Of course it's not, because his arms don't bend, but the let's rethink your logic of throwing things at the man with the axe. Yes, I like that line quite a bit, because Sam, yeah, he didn't care. He's gonna throw stuff if he wants to throw stuff. So shooting this scene was kind of difficult because I had to think, not ahead, but, you know, think, if I shoot this shot, I need to have, you know, an in-between shot of Sam getting hit, but then I need to show him picking up the snowball. Do I need to show him throwing it, or do we just take for granted that he did it? So that part of it was kind of... There were a lot more pictures that I took for this scene that ended up making it in here. I kind of whittled it down to just, I think, 25 or so pictures that, you know, basically gave you the gist of what was going on. So you still understood, oh, there he's hit, and there he's also hit, and those snowballs were fun. They actually stuck. They were really, I mean, I don't know what the heck they were made out of, but they did stick to any kind of fabric that you put them near, so there was no tape involved there. There was actually there was a much dirtier picture than the one I ended up using for the Is Tackled. Maybe I should put that up for an outtake, but yeah. The one I used was bad enough. And here we have Sam and Dean having a moment, and, you know, Sam kind of saying, yeah, you know, I understand that that's just our job and how we do things, and agreeing that as long as they're together, nothing's quite so bad, which is, you know, the way it should be. And then the sandwich versus sandwich joke. Okay, we're breaking this into 2 parts so I can put it on YouTube, so we'll see you in a bit.